August 2nd, that's the day President Obama says the U.S. runs out of enough money to pay its bills, and the country risks setting off global financial chaos unless Congress raises the debt ceiling. Listen to this.
By August 2nd, we run out of tools to make sure that all our bills are paid. So that is a hard deadline. And I want everybody to understand that this is a jobs issue. This is not an abstraction. If the United States government, for the first time, cannot pay its bills, if it defaults, then the consequences for the U.S. economy will be significant.
Republican leaders challenge that. They say we're not at a crisis point and that the U.S. can pay the interest on the debt to keep creditors at bay while negotiations continue. So which is it, global chaos or scare tactic? Republican Senator Jeff Sessions joins me now from Capitol Hill. Senator Sessions, great to see you.
Thank you, Edie.
Well, the IMF sent a report to the U.S. government this month saying that not increasing the debt ceiling as soon as possible could cause a severe shock to the global economy. Leader Boehner says the August 2nd deadline is artificial. What do you think?
Well, I think everybody realizes the August 2nd deadline is a very important deadline. And an agreement to put us on a sound economic course is very, very important. It should be reached well before August 2nd. And my biggest concern is that the president continues to meet with just a few people, or his vice president has, and they propose nothing as week after week, month after month has gone by as to what they think should be done to change the debt course we're on and propose thereby raising the debt limit. We're not going to raise the debt limit unless we change the spending level in our country. It just is not going to happen.
Here's the sense I get. When talking to Republicans and Democrats, I've come away with the same feeling, and that's that both sides are making a gamble here that it's going to pay off with their constituents. Republicans, that if they refuse to increase the debt ceiling without these cuts, they're going to win with the folks who matter in the voting for them. And that Democrats feel that if they aren't able to increase taxes in some way to offset this, that they're going to win if they just hold off. And that seems to be a very dangerous standoff we're heading towards.
Well, it's dangerous if we don't reach an agreement on legislation that can pass and raise the debt limit. I think we have to do that. But if the president won't change any course, then perhaps the least dangerous option is that.
All right.
So and I think it's the president would be running a high risk if he doesn't come forward. Why wouldn't he come forward with a reasonable proposal?
All right.
That could work and that could gain support in the Congress? I can't imagine why he would not.
Well, I know that Vice President Biden got together with the Republicans and Democrats, tried to put something together. That didn't go anywhere.
In secret, I don't know what that was.
Right. The president now is getting involved. A lot of folks are saying, from both sides, too late, but hopefully something will happen here. I know that you know the players there as well as anybody. If you were to put together a group with the president that can get something done, who is it for the Republicans and who is it for the Democrats?
Look, I don't believe this idea that we can send one or two people to the White House and get out a notebook paper and write up a future financial plan for America involving $30 trillion. I don't think that can be done. I think they need to present it in a regular order as legislation, advocate for it, let's debate it, let's have amendments. The American people see this process. Do you think it's healthy? I'll ask you, is it healthy to do these kind of things in secret, drop them in on August 1st and say it's got to be passed by August 2nd? I don't think that's good. This is really wrong, and I object to it.
Where do you want the biggest cuts to come from? If you were to say, okay, we can really start having a serious discussion if you cut this, where is that?
Clearly, wasteful Washington spending is where the most cuts ought to be. That's in the non-defense discretionary accounts that, Edie, have increased 24% under President Obama in just the last 2 years.
Okay.
Defense is up about 2%.
I'm not a Washington insider, so what exactly is that kind of spending? Because I assume that Social Security, Medicaid, Medicare, and defense. Those are the big ones that, you know, if you don't mess with them, we're never going to address this problem. So what's the other one that you know, Washington is really piddling around with that we can get rid of?
Well, we don't have to get rid of it, but we've got about 60% of our spending in Medicare, Social Security, mandatory spending, that right there. And defense makes up almost half of the rest. So we've got huge increases in these other accounts in just the last 2 years. And it's more than we can sustain, in the president's budget for next year calls for double-digit increases, 10, 11% increases in the State Department, in the Education Department, in the Energy Department. Now, this kind of thinking is out of touch with reality, and we've got to reduce our current level of spending. And it won't mean we're going to zero. It means maybe we're going back to 2 years, 3 years ago, what we were spending then. The country can sustain those cuts, and it would save a lot of money. But in addition, we absolutely have to consider and confront our surging entitlements, the 60% of money that's out of control, and we need to figure out a way to do that in a way that strengthens those programs, not eliminates them.
Senator Sessions, always good to talk to you. Thank you.
Thank you.